Hey everybody, it's time for another update of my training with OTA Elite Vertical Academy. I just completed phase 3, which is the concentric phase of the program. So right now I'm already 13 weeks into the program. The first weeks have all been about laying the foundation with an isometric focus. Then phase 2 was about deceleration with an eccentric focus. And now in phase 3, the so-called propulsion phase, it's all about improving the rate of force development. Right now we are starting to put the pieces together in this triphasic approach of the Elite Vertical Academy. If we think back a few weeks, the first phase was all about tendon stiffness and motor unit recruitment to build a solid foundation. Then in phase 2 we've been working on the pre-stretch, teaching the body to use elastic energy and also improving deceleration and landing ability. And now in phase 3 it's about the final part of a dynamic movement, with the goal to produce as much force as possible on the way up when we think about a vertical jump. The ability to generate force quickly will help you to become a really explosive athlete. So the training modalities change a bit and they are pretty much the counterpart to the previous phase. Because now in the concentric phase we eliminate the pre-stretch in our movements. That means plyometrics start from the bottom position without the pre-stretch and then we explode on the way up. A typical exercise of this type of training would be the seated box jumps, for example. In phase 3 you also get to perform a new type of exercise, which are the so-called ballistic tosses. Here you have to use a mat ball. Usually you also start in the bottom position and then explode up and toss the mat ball as high as possible. The structure of the workouts remains the same as it was from the beginning. We got days with a unilateral and bilateral focus, as well as upper body and lower body focus days. After the mobility routine and the dynamic warm-up, the workout starts with plyometrics and mat ball tosses for power development. In phase 3 we also start with assisted plyometrics, so again it's the counterpart compared to the second phase, where we had to perform plyometrics with resistance. The main exercises for strength are performed with less weight than before, but with an acceleration focus. This means you try to move the weight up as fast as possible and with very high velocity. The program uses the same compound exercises like before, but now there are also some new modifications. Just like the plyometrics, we start from the bottom position, so our modified variations would be the pin press instead of a bench press, or the box squat instead of a regular back squat. There are also some new variations for auxiliaries and core exercises, and you will notice the progression throughout the program. The reverse lunge is a very good example. We started this movement with dumbbells only, then we added an eccentric focus in phase 2, and now we progress to barbell reverse lunges. After the first phases have been really exhausting for me, phase 3 now comes with some new motivation and I was really looking forward to start this training block, because I just love the way how you start putting the pieces together and the workouts are a little bit more fun than the isometric or eccentric stuff. The workouts don't become easy though, but it is not as taxing as the first 2 training blocks, at least from my perspective. So how did the concentric phase affect my current progress? Now, I don't track the exact numbers throughout the program, but the first thing I noticed was after I had a second deload and when I was only 1 week into the third phase, my fatigue was way lower than before and I noticed some improvements. In this week I had a really good session playing basketball. I felt more explosive even though I had a small accident in my workout the day before and still suffered a bit from soreness some days after that. In week 2 this got better from day to day. I had some improvement in my workouts and some good jumps at the end of the week. But on the other hand, fatigue also got higher, so I was missing a bit of explosiveness playing basketball. Week number 3 started quite good, but I did a little bit too much as I also started beach volleyball training again after I had an intense workout and played basketball the day before. This caused a bit of Achilles tendon pain, so I had to take an extra day of rest, and I also added 2 more days of rest before the last workout as I was dealing with an illness. Usually I would have still worked out, but this time I wanted to make sure that I'm completely healthy when the peak phase starts. When it comes to my progress, I would guess my jumps were almost as high as they've been at the end of the last time I did the program, so I'm really excited to see if I can get more progress in the next weeks. Unfortunately, once again our gym was closed in the deload week and I didn't have a chance to test my vertical, but I had some solid dunk sessions in the first 2 weeks of the propulsion phase, and also at the end of deload week the weather was great and I could play some beach volleyball where I noticed some improvements on my spike. I also hit kind of a personal milestone as I finally made my first in-game dunks, and although they were wide open, this was a great achievement for me because I never hit one of those before. Dunking in-game was always something different for me when the approach is not perfect and you're fatigued from the game itself. So I take this as an indicator that my performance has improved. Now, the next 3 weeks are all about finishing strong. We're going into peak phase, that means the intensity will reach its maximum. There will be some more complex and advanced plyometrics, approach jumps, and with strength exercises we'll get close to the 1 rep maximum and hopefully set some new PRs in the final week. I'm super excited to test out the results after the program, and this will also be the next video in a few weeks. Again, I want to thank every one of you who supported me on this journey so far. Thanks for all your comments and feedback under the last videos. That's been a great motivation. I really appreciate all of your messages. I'm extremely hyped for peak phase right now, and I hope this is gonna lead to some more gains and that I can accomplish the goals which I set before the program. But that's it for now, so have a good day everybody, and see you in the next video.